Welcome to Day 3 of the Grieving Parents Meditation series. In today's session, I will be sharing my thoughts about talking about our children. Begin by finding a comfortable position, resting your hands gently in your lap, and when you're ready, close your eyes. Begin by taking a slow, deep breath, softening your forehead as you exhale. Soften your eyes, your cheeks. Bring a slight smile to your face, which will naturally ease the tension you may be holding in your jaw. Breathe in 1, 2, 3, and out 1, 2, 3. In 1, 2, 3, and out 1, 2, 3. Now let your breath return to its natural rhythm, feeling the slow, gentle rise and fall of your chest. In and out. Expansion and contraction. In and out. If your mind has begun to wander, simply acknowledge the thoughts and let them go, returning your focus back to the breath. In and out. In and out. The only thing that matters in this moment is the breath. If you notice tension anywhere, acknowledge it and let it go, and return your focus back to the breath. Now, as you soften your awareness, I want to talk a little about how we can make other people comfortable talking about our kids. You may be thinking right now, it isn't your job to make other people comfortable. But hear me out. After my son died and I returned to work, I noticed people avoided me, and they certainly avoided talking about him. They didn't want to upset me. But what they didn't understand is not talking about him is what upset me the most. I don't blame them for avoiding bringing him up. It's a natural human response, and it's not their fault. There were people who asked me what happened, asked if there was anything they could do, but what I really missed was talking about him. Not how he died, but how he lived. That was the moment that I knew it was up to me to change things. One day, 2 coworkers were talking about taking their kids to the dentist for the first time. I laughed and told them the story about Dallas's first trip to the dentist and how he refused to open his mouth. I didn't cry. I laughed as I told this funny story about my stubborn son and how the dentist still charged me for the visit. Another time, someone was telling me about teaching their daughter how to drive, and I told her all about the first time Dallas drove with a huge smile on my face. I then began to look for ways to work into the conversation parts of Dallas's life, and it really felt good. The more I talked about how he lived, the less I focused on how he died. Now my coworkers aren't afraid to ask me questions like, how old was Dallas when he got his wisdom teeth pulled? Or what did Dallas study in college? Or any of the normal things parents talk about. They now knew I wanted to be included in their mom talk, and how important it was to me to talk about how he lived. Being a grieving parent doesn't mean the only story we have to tell is the one about their death. We never forget our kids died, but sometimes I think it's too easy to get caught up in our grief and forget how they lived. If we don't tell people stories of their lives, who will? My son was funny, he was smart, he was kind, he loved to help others. But most of all, he lived. Now, as we come to the end of this session, return your attention back to the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes, and when you're ready, open your eyes. I hope you've enjoyed today's session. Be kind to yourself. You're the parent of an angel after all.